Yo, 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 yo. What's good, y'all? It's been, how long has it been? It's been over a week and some change, but I'm back, y'all. Salute, salute, salute. It's your boy Jay.Jordan back again for another stream. I know it's been a while. Last time I streamed was game two, I want to say. Game four? I don't even know the last. I think it was game four. Game three, I think it was when Sabrina hit the shot. That was game three, yeah. So I think the last time I streamed was game three, which feels like ages ago. But it's been a while. It's been a while. So I'm glad y'all are tuning in. I was thinking of doing the stream, but all the celebrations that were going on for the Liberty Championship and whatnot, I said, let me just wait. I was also trying to wait to see if any of my Liberty Championship merch came in so I could put on the wall, but it's on back order, so we're gonna have to wait. So the bootleg shirt that I got at the parade is gonna have to do. One of them dudes was selling this shirt at the parade for $10, so I had to cop up this shirt. But it's good to be back on stream. A lot has happened since I last streamed. So I wanted to make sure I got in a recap before things get even more crazy in terms of WNBA news. So just like the title says, we're just gonna touch on some of the WNBA Finals, some of the recap, the game. What was that? Game 5. I was at Game 5 of the WNBA Finals. I was probably the most nerve-wracking game I've ever been to. Even more nerve-wracking than last year when I was at Game 4 when we lost to Las Vegas. Excuse me. So I was a nervous wreck. But through it all, the Liberty somehow, some way, depending on who you ask, they pulled out the win and secured their first ever WNBA championship. In the days following that, there was a parade on last Thursday. I missed the basically missed the parade, but they had a ceremony at City Hall, which is in downtown Manhattan, New York. You had to have tickets for that, and you had to be at the gate at 10 a.m. to get in. You couldn't see the parade if you were going to the ceremony, so it was like a pick one or choose. So they had a TV showing, like a screen on the outside showing the ceremony. You could still hear it. I stayed for a majority of it, and then I had to go to a gig that I had to do. So I wasn't there for that. For the whole thing. I wasn't there for the thing in the evening that they had at Barclays Center. They had a whole like mini concert celebration that they had at the Barclays Center where the Liberty play. Wasn't able to make that as well due to work. But people really covered it well on social media, so I got to see what I was missing out on. And that's where the celebrations have pretty much stopped for the Liberty. So this is the towel they gave out at the game. New York game for everybody. I did pick up some of the streamers that fell from the sky. They over there in the corner somewhere. I should have brought them on. But I wanted to show you guys some of the stuff that I saw at the game. Let's see if this will work. Just give you a timeline of let me mute this. I might be looping back. Give you a timeline of everything that sort of happened, and we go from there. So this was me driving to the game. It was a lot of traffic getting to the game, trying to pull up to the game. A lot of traffic. And then this how the arena looked before the game started. As you can see at the top there, it says 57 minutes. 57 minutes, 5 seconds. That's how much, that was pre-game, so that's how much time it was until the game started. So you see all the towels on the chairs, players warming up and all that. I like to get to the games a little early, especially with my mom, so we don't have to deal with large crowds. I know a couple of games I went to last season, 2023, if you came 10, 15, 20 minutes to game time, especially the type of game you were trying to go to, it would be crazy trying to get in, and you would probably miss a majority of the first quarter. So I tend to drive down, find some free parking in the neighborhood, and then get in there and just relax until the game starts. Even though this one was far pretty far from relaxing since it was the Liberty, in the finals. All right, so let's keep circling through. I just took a bunch of pictures. You got Benijah Laney Hamilton warming up. I post a lot of these. If the video is short, or depending on the length of the video, I post them on the Instagram channel. You can see it down at the bottom at Jay.JordanTV Liberty. When I'm at the games, I try to post a lot of the footage on that channel, depending on what the service will let me. Sometimes when a lot of people get into Barclays Center, cell service goes to crap, so I'm not able to get in as much as I want. I did post some in the Discord as well. Tudo, my guy, salute. What's good, bro? What's good? Just more pictures of Benijah warming up before that Game 5 game. This was about 30 minutes before they cut the lights out and they're doing some announcements and stuff. Lighten up everything there. Fat Joe performed at halftime. I didn't record. It wasn't the best performance, so I didn't really record it, and plus we were losing at that point. Yankees, they're getting cooked already. I'm not even looking at I'm not even looking at the score, man. I've lost hope in the Yanks. This was how the arena looked before the game started, as they were doing like the starting lineups and stuff. People still filling into the building. This is like the warm-ups. The Liberty players warmed up on our side, and this is when the arena started getting a little bit more full. Everybody, they gave us like these wristbands that have lights on them, so they synchronize the light, so it gives it that nice effect. That torch there in the middle lights up. They usually light it up during the warm-up. Let me see if I can let y'all hear this. Mute myself right quick. Yeah, so that's some of the stuff that happens like during the warm-ups and stuff. Just a couple more pictures. I just took a bunch of pictures. This is the starting lineup introduction. Yeah, so that's some of the stuff that that you see at the warm-ups. I did catch a picture of Angel Reese. That's one of the perks of sitting in the seat that I could say I used to sit in. I don't sit in that seat anymore. But Angel Reese, you get to see all the celebrities when they come out of the tunnel. And Angel Reese, as you can see, she had the half Minnesota, half New York Liberty jersey on, representing Nafisa and Breanna Stewart. Caught a couple pictures there as she walked by. There's a couple more pictures during the game. I have like the Meta smart glasses that have the camera on them, so I can try and keep my phone out of my hand sometimes. The only thing is when they're far away, you can't really see unless you zoom in. But as you can see, I was going crazy. That's when Niara was going on her little scoring run during that fourth quarter. You can see what play was this? I don't even remember. I just remember I just kept recording to see if I could catch anything. I think this is in the fourth quarter. I think this is when Stewie got fouled. So, talking about when Stewie got fouled, like when you're at the game, as you can see, I'm probably just replay it. When you're at the game, this is my view from it. So when people were like, "Oh, it wasn't a foul," and they didn't really show the replay in the arena, so you can't really see like what's happening really. So I didn't know that it was a discussion until I got home or until I looked at my phone and then I saw people were saying it wasn't a foul, and they had like the TV angles, and I was like, oh, see, I didn't even see that in the arena, but that's neither here nor there. I think this is the start of OT. This is when Niara got the steal from Nafisa, went coast to coast and laid it in. Crowd was going absolutely crazy. And I think this is I don't know. I was recording random stuff. I barely watch half of this stuff, but I was just recording so I could post. Yeah, that was Sabrina shooting a brick. I think this is the last play of the game. Yeah, I think that was the second to last play when we got a steal and they had to foul us essentially. And then we ended up shooting free throws. They came back trying to score one more play. And that's me. I'm over here recording on my phone, recording on my glasses. I'm going crazy. I'm gonna let you out here. Yeah, I was literally I just hugged mom. I was literally standing there just like stunned. Like I couldn't believe it. Like I was stunned. Hugged mom. Everybody was just like super, super ecstatic. They were playing We Are the Champions. They were playing Frank Sinatra. It was crazy, man. It was an absolute feeling that I'll never forget. And this mom over here, super hype. Stayed for the whole trophy presentation. And then that's when everybody and their mom, all Sabrina's family, all the players' families are trying to get on the court. It was just a madhouse after that. You might as well have just stayed still and just took it all in, honestly. Yeah, there's a bunch of more pictures. That was when they dropped the confetti. You can see they only dropped the confetti really on the court, so you couldn't really grab confetti. I just grabbed some of the streamers that fell further back. Excuse me. More confetti pictures. JJ getting the MVP. Look at the smile, the happiness. She finally got her one championship. I just was taking picture after picture. Niara Sabally could have been the MVP of that game. She really gave us a spark. Trophy. And I was just taking pictures, y'all. Honestly, just picture after picture. We stayed there for so long after the game. Me and mom taking a selfie. Then some fan behind us, somebody behind us took a picture of us. Thankfully, you can see Sabrina and her family here. Yeah, even though she didn't have the greatest of games, but she did her thing during the season to get us to that point. Yeah, Tudo, I'm happy for Sabrina though. 1 for 19, we won it all. Yeah, definitely. I would just take a picture, even as you can see the arena clearing out. Still taking pictures. Just take a video after video. Man, they even had kids crying in there. I'm like, man, y'all weren't even I can't knock them though. But this video here, I was taking my seats were down there where I was pointing the camera, and now my seats are gonna be right here in this first row in the 100 level section. They upped the price, of course, so I had to move. Take a picture of some of the confetti. Take some more selfies with mom. This is a view from my new seats next year. So I won't be as close, but I have a more full vision of the court. Nobody standing in front of you. So I was able to get that. On the drive home on the Brooklyn Bridge, on the underside of the Brooklyn Bridge, they had like this projection on it. Liberty has a nice ring to it. I couldn't get the rest because I was literally driving and I was trying to catch it on my phone as I was driving. But I caught that on the bridge. In this video, if you look right here, if you were looking at the broadcast, this is me right here. I caught myself as I was watching the game back. I was looking down because I was so nervous that I caught myself looking down on the broadcast. Tudo says at least Liberty games will be more packed than Nets games. Yeah, and Nets ain't doing nothing. Nets are not doing anything. All right, and then we fast forward to Thursday, which is the parade. I got there late, as I was telling y'all, but I was able to catch, I guess, the ending when they were like sending the buses back to where they come from, I guess. This bus had the 2024 WNBA champion Liberty thing on it. And then this is the screen they had right outside of City Hall. A bunch of people were there. So we were able to somewhat hear and see the whole program for the most part. They showed a nice little video of all the wins, leading all the playoff wins and finals wins, leading to the Liberty getting their first championship. They showed that video of like past and present. You can see Teaspoon, Sue Wiggs, Sabrina. They had Vicky Johnson in there. I think Kim Hampton was in there as well. And then they had the intros of all the players and all the coaches. Took some flicks as much as I could. They had some nice merch on. Not gonna lie. And then JJ got a big applause. She came out with the Bahamian flag wrapped around her and the Finals MVP trophy. Stewie came out with the Finals trophy, championship trophy. Sluty with the skater look, hair down, hat to the back. Yeah, it was a good time. Roz Goldenwood did basically she was like the MC of the program. What's up, JP? JP said I'm happy for NYC. Yeah. They had this picture here. They had a lot of the older players who were there from that early championship team. You see Kim Hampton here. Of course, Spoon is here. Vicky is here. A bunch of the older players are there. I don't know where Sue is. I guess Sue wasn't in this photo here. Okay, it's KB and KT. Niara and Leonie, the German 1-2 punch. Niara got a lot of cheers. Sluty. Benija was there. A lot of people were looking for Benija over the weekend, but I guess she was just getting her hair done. Sabrina. And then, I think that was it. Yeah, so that was a recap of everything I was able to capture at the parade and the ceremony and Game 4 of the finals. I know everybody, well, not everybody, a lot of people have questions, or not questions, but they feel like something the Liberty got a free pass, but listen, man, I don't agree. I think the Liberty won the championship, and then we move on to next year. And that is that. All right, y'all. Now that we got past the happiness and the excitement of the Liberty winning the championship, a lot was happening in the background, though, of this off season. What's up, Janelle? Janelle with the super chat salute. Video game controller involves almost. Oh, this probably it's a super sticker. I said it's a super chat, super sticker. $10 super sticker. Salute, Janelle. So let's get into the nitty gritty of this stream. So as you guys have noticed, it's been a lot, and you saw from the title. I put the go ahead and clock out for me. If you're on social media, you know that one. You do something crazy at work, or you do something at work, and the boss come up to you like, yo, and just pack up your bags and it's time to go. Like, So that's a lot of what's happened over the past couple weeks since the regular season has ended. A lot of coaches have been fired. A lot of GMs have been fired. A lot of upheaval in the WNBA as we approach the 2025 season. We have a new team coming in the Golden State Valkyries. And we have new talent, new money, new eyes on the game. So a lot of these teams are starting to um, up their game or try to make a positive change that will propel their team into a better positioning, which then with better positioning and more wins comes more finances, more money, more eyes on your team, and it's a win-win for everybody. So in this second part of the stream, we're gonna just take a look at all of what has happened in time and date order, and we'll probably we'll just have a discussion on what we think will happen in the upcoming weeks. What's up, Damien? Damien says Sabrina can't go 1 for 19. That's unacceptable. Even she won the first, but she needs to work on her foot speed and athleticism. And if she improves, then she'll become unstoppable 1-on-1. Yeah, definitely. Like Sabrina and Stewie will both tell you that that wasn't their best 2 games. They struggled really against that Minnesota defense, whether they were dealing with fatigue or injury or the Minnesota defense was that good. But and at the end of the day, they're gonna celebrate this win, and then they'll probably take a look back and see why it was that they struggled. Because they can't come back the same way they did this year, same way they played this year. We'll touch on that in a later off-season video, but they definitely have some things to work on. Probably get some rest first of all, enjoy this moment, and then when we get to Athletes Unlimited or Unrivaled and those things, they can start to ramp up for the next season. Damien given the Shaq the Shaq point of view, WM needs to lower the rim. Not really a fan of them lowering the rim, because lowering the rim then comes with messing up their shots. The people who have learned how to shoot on 10 feet now have to learn how to shoot on 9.5 or 9 or however low you want to lower it. Let's if the ladies want to dunk, then they'll dunk. Like Asia Wilson can dunk. Will she dunk in the game? No, it probably takes too much energy to dunk in game. You have some of the young girls coming out that can dunk. Kiki Uriafen, I've seen a couple of videos of her dunking in practice. But for the ladies, it probably takes too much energy to consistently dunk or to even muster up enough energy to dunk. So I know Shaq had that same point of view. He's been saying that for forever, but I'll stick with the 10 feet for the ladies, and we'll move from there. All right, let's get into it. Let me pull up the first one. So, name of the segment is Coach GM. Go ahead and log off or log in for me. This one is a login on September 23rd. So the season ended September 19th. On September 23rd, Indiana made the first move to their front office. They welcomed back Kelly Krauskopf. She's now the president of basketball and business operations for the Indiana Fever. She used to work for the Fever in the past, and they welcomed her back to take over that aspect of their franchise. So that was September 23rd. That was the first move. So it was like, all right, cool. They're shoring up their front office to deal with the surging popularity of Caitlin Clark and everything that came with that to their franchise. So they're trying to make positive moves. But then just a day later, Kurt Miller, coach of the LA Sparks, ex-coach of the Connecticut Sun, he was fired or parted ways. They hit you with the parted ways, but we all know what the parted ways means, people. They fired him. So Kurt Miller was fired by the LA Sparks on September 24th. He was hired in 2023 by them. His first year, 17-23. They didn't make the playoffs. Their second year, 2024, 8-32. Didn't make the playoffs. Total record was 25-11. and 55. So Kurt Miller, he was dealing with a youngish team. The first year, I think he still had Nneka Ogwumike. He still had, I think did he have De'Erica? No, he didn't have De'Erica. He may have had De'Erica. I can't remember. But he was dealing with Nneka and then a bunch of young players. He had a couple veterans sprinkled throughout. They didn't really have the success that they thought. Nneka moves on to Seattle in the offseason. They get even younger. They draft Cam Brink and Rickea Jackson in that draft to pair them up with De'Erica Hamby and Lasia Clarendon and Zaya Cook and Kia Nurse and all them in LA. Cam Brink goes down with an ACL. LA has a couple big wins against the Vegas Aces. They beat the Liberty as well, but they just couldn't muster up enough wins. Rickea Jackson was the sixth woman off the bench until Cam Brink got hurt. And then they put her in the starting lineup and she finished off the season really well. But it just wasn't enough to supply them with enough wins to even make a playoff push. So that's 2 seasons down, 2 seasons missing the playoffs for a team like the LA Sparks. Coach had to log off and they had to get coach out of there, unfortunately, after 2 seasons. And now he is on the neck. Maybe he's looking for another job. Maybe he's trying to find a new franchise. We'll see what happens with Kurt Miller. There's rumors or reports that he may be in the running for the Chicago job. So we'll keep an eye on that. But for now, Kurt Miller he was fired by the LA Sparks after 2 seasons. Kurt Miller, he did have success in Connecticut in the years before that. He made it to 2 finals, made it to about 3 or 4 semifinals. So he had a lot of playoff success in Connecticut. Tried to take a youngish team to have that same success. And after 2 years, it just wasn't working out. So they had to move on from Kurt. Leave in the comments where you think Kurt Miller will end up. There's a lot of vacancies we're going to get to. So he could end up really anywhere. So after that, after the 24th, 2 days later, this one hurt. Coach, go ahead, log off. Teresa Weatherspoon, ex-Liberty player, got her first coaching gig with the Chicago Sky at the beginning of this past season. She had a 13-27 record and got fired a week after the season ended, pretty much. So Teaspoon getting fired. There was a lot of confusion around it because after 1 season you fire the coach is there's something that threw people off. But some backstory to it, I guess you can say, is that Coach Spoon was hired and then they hired the GM, Jeff Pagliata, whatever his name is. So usually the GM would get hired first and the GM would go through and choose the person he wants or she wants for that job. But since Teaspoon was hired first and he was hired after, I guess she wasn't the person that he wanted for the job, maybe. And they dealt with that the whole season. There was a lot of chatter about her letting Angel Reese do stuff, which I don't really agree with. And she was, I guess she was a little too green on the job to deal with the players that they had. And as soon as the season was over, they decided to let her go, which is unfortunate. Tudo said the Suns firing shocked me. Yeah, we're going to touch on the Sun firing. JP says, are the same coaches going to get rotated or will they pull from somewhere else? That'll be interesting to see. That's what a lot of the conversation is about, is that are we just going to continue to pull the coaches just musical chairs around, or are they going to start pulling more people from the assistant coaching ranks of the W and the NBA from college? So we're going to see, honestly, we will see. Later on in this video, we'll touch on one coach that was pulled from the assistant coaching rankings and got a head coaching position. RC, my guy, salute. What's going on, bro? Appreciate it. So that's Teaspoon. Teaspoon is unemployed. I'm glad she was able to fully cheer for the Liberty, due that she had no ties to no other team. She was there at Game 5 of the finals. Had her jersey on, the classic Liberty jersey, was on the float, was a part of the celebration. So I guess that's a win in her eyes, that she was able to see the franchise that she started with, that she brought so close to glory and just couldn't get over that hump. Finally get over that hump and be able to celebrate freely, without people saying, "Oh, you're the coach of the sky. Why are you celebrating with technically the enemy?" You know. So let's see if Teaspoon gets another head coaching gig, or does she become an assistant coach somewhere, get some more experience. Because I know a lot of people were saying that was one of her faults. She didn't have enough head coaching experience. But the only way to get that type of experience is to be in that seat and see how you react to certain situations, and then learn from that. But in the way the league is moving now, where teams are looking more to win as soon as possible, it doesn't give you that same amount of grace that you're expected to come in and produce results sort of immediately. So salute to Teaspoon. She'll always be in the Liberty's corner, or the Liberty will always be in her corner. She can always come back home, and she'll be celebrated as always. All right, so we've already got one hiring and two firings. What do you think is next? Another firing. October 2nd, so a couple days later, Atlanta Dream, after they lost in the semifinals to the New York Liberty, 2-0, they end up firing Tanisha Wright. She was hired in 2022. Her record in 2022 was 14-22. The Dream didn't make the playoffs that year. In 2023, they were 19-21. They were in the first round. They lost in the first round. And this past season, 2024, 15-25. They made it to the first round and lost, as I mentioned, to the Liberty. Her total coaching record as a member of the Dream was 48-68. She had I guess the Dream felt she had a lot of good teams. That she had Ryan Howard, Alicia Gray, Tina Charles this past season, Jordan Canada, which they acquired this past season, and she was unable to get this team to any rhythm. They struggled a lot this season, as you can see. 15-25 isn't really good. They barely snuck into the playoffs. So Atlanta looking to move in a different direction. A lot of people say she underachieved. But it's hard to win. It's literally hard to win in this league. And until teams start to supply their GMs and owners start to supply their teams with the resources needed to attract high-end talent, then these sort of results are going to continue to repeat themselves. So Tanisha Wright, coach, go ahead and log off. Tanisha got the boot, and she got kicked out of there, unfortunately. I'm not sure where she ends up next. It'll be interesting to see how that pans out and where she sort of ends up. So we'll keep an eye on Tanisha Wright and her next moves. All right, so we're already down to 3 firings and 1 hiring. Let's see what's next. Oh, we got a hiring. So GM, go ahead and log in. So the Chief Operating Officer and GM, Amber Cox, was hired by the Indiana Fever. She was with a lot of franchises in the past. I think she was with the Dallas Wings, the Connecticut Sun, if I'm not mistaken. So she's no stranger to the WNBA in these type of roles. That she was hired as the Chief Operating Officer and GM. So for those who followed the Fever or know the WNBA, Lynn Dunn was the GM of the interim GM of the Indiana Fever from the 2022 season. She was called to come back to the team just to get them through that period. Lynn Dunn did win a championship with the Indiana Fever, their one and only championship back in 2012. That's a 2012, excuse me. She was called to come back and help with this team. So she was in the interim GM role for the past couple seasons. She has been now demoted to more of a senior advisory role, as Amber Cox will take over that role full time now. So the Fever adding people to their front office to facilitate more success, more revenue, and everything that comes with that. So the Fever are the only team that's adding for now. Everybody else is sort of subtracting and trying to reevaluate. Then we have a new coach for the new franchise that's coming next season. The Golden State Valkyries, Natalie Nakase, was formerly assistant coach of the Las Vegas Aces during their championship runs. Before that, she was with the LA Clippers and Tyronn Lue in the NBA. So she gets her first head coaching gig with the new franchise, the Golden State Valkyries, that was announced on October 10th. Salute to Natalie. Wish her all the success in the world. Hopefully the team can cut out to a good start, depending on who they pick up in the drafts and things of that nature. Wish her all the success, as long as it's not against my team. And that's always my motto. You can have all the success, but I hope you lose to us. So salute to Natalie. All right, now we get back to firings. October 18th, Coach Trammell, Latricia Trammell, coached the Dallas Wings. After 2 seasons, she was let go by the Wings. She was hired in 2023. Her record in 2023 was 22-18. They made it to the semifinals, ran into that powerhouse Las Vegas Aces team. Last season, it was just a rough season for them. 9-31, didn't make the playoffs. Dealt with a ton of injuries. They had like 2 to 3 people on hardship contracts because they had so many injuries. It was a rough season for them. So let's recap their season. So they had Satu Sabli missing for half the season until after the Olympic break due to a shoulder. I think it was a shoulder injury. I think the first game of the season, Natasha Howard fractured something in her foot or strained something in her foot. So she's gone for a couple weeks. Maddie Segrist comes in to help. She ends up fracturing her thumb or her hand or something. So she's out a couple weeks. Excuse me. They have to bring in Mo Billings. I think they brought in Mo Billings and Odyssey Sims to help out with the point guard and the post work. They were there for a little bit. Mo Billings was playing well. And then when those players ended up coming back, Mo Billings and Odyssey had to go back off of their hardship contracts. And then Satu came back after the Olympic break, and it just they were too deep of a hole to even climb out of at that point. The chemistry wasn't there. They couldn't find that chemistry they had last year. Couldn't spring it back up in the last couple games of the last part of the season, and they finished on the outside looking in. So Latricia Trammell fired after 2 seasons, and they're looking for a new coach. I think Greg Bibb, who's the president, he was like the GM as well. He's relieving himself of the GM duties, and he's trying to find a full-time GM. So both the Wings are looking for both a GM and a coach in this coaching cycle. It's going to be interesting. There's so many openings here. I wonder what's really going to happen here in these next couple weeks, because we got the draft lottery coming up. We have the expansion draft coming up, and you would need a GM and a coach to see where the direction of the team is that you want, the direction you want to take the team, and you need those people there to facilitate that. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But Coach Trammell out. We'll see where she ends up. She could end up on another team, definitely in the W. Tudo says, yeah, Yankees only down 1 now. Oh, okay. I've checked out of that game. I've literally checked out. Now let's fast forward. October 23rd. So only about 6 days ago, a week ago, a coach and a GM were fired at the same time from the same franchise, and their family. They just happen to be family. So Coach Eric Tebow and GM Mike Tebow both were fired by the Washington Mystics after years of service to the franchise. Eric Tebow was hired in 2023 after being an assistant coach under his dad, assistant and associate head coach under his dad. And then he was given the full-time gig in 2023. Some say nepotism. I say salute. His 2023 record was 19-21. Made it to the first round against my New York Liberty. They lost in 2 games. 2024, it brought back basically a whole new team. Lost a lot of big names. Natasha Cloud goes to Phoenix. Elena Delle Donne basically went on strike and said, y'all cord me, I'm not going to play. They brought in Steph Dolson back to the franchise. Brittany Sykes and Shakira Austin were in and out this whole season. So they were relying on Aaliyah Edwards and Ariel Atkins and what's shorty from Belgium, Julie Van Loo and them folks. They picked up Emily Engstler later on in the season. They even made a push for the playoffs, but they couldn't get over that hump on the last day of the season. Too much was against them, so they missed the playoffs. Eric Tebow finishes with a 33-47 record as a head coach, and he is in the job market looking for something. Now, Mike Tebow, he's a WNBA staple. He's been with a number of franchises. I think he was with Connecticut at one time. Spent a lot of his time with Washington as a head coach. He brought them their one and only championship in 2019 as the head coach, Mike Tebow. He finishes with a 172-155 record as a head coach of the Washington Mystics. He stepped down end of the 2022 season, and his son took over in that regard. JP said, I just shrank that. JP said Aaliyah Edwards signed with Unrivaled. Yes, she did. Aaliyah Edwards was just announced as the 27th player of Unrivaled. I know they said they were signing at least 4 rookies. So I think she was the 4th rookie, as Kate Martin was signed yesterday or the day before. So back to this. I don't know where the Tebow family will end up, if they end up in another franchise, if Mike Tebow decides to just call it a day and sail off into the sunset. I don't know if Eric tries to get an assistant coaching job somewhere else, or he decides to move down to the college rankings or somewhere else to get more experience. But it'll be interesting to see where this pans out for the Tebow family. They were staples in Washington for so long, but now Washington is moving in a different direction, and we'll see where that takes them. So coach and GM Tebow, go ahead and log out for me. Next, we have a GM, not somebody who's not really talked about too much, or not known to a lot of people, but Natalie Williams. She was the GM of the Las Vegas Aces. She was hired in 2022, and on October 26th, she was fired, or they parted ways with her. She was the GM that sort of orchestrated that championship, the 2022 and 2023 championship. A lot of her criticism came from the people she drafted. That 2022 season, I think the Aces didn't have a draft pick due to some charges or something. The 2023, she drafted like Maya Hollingshed and Kirsten Bell. Maya Hollingshed didn't even make it to day 1 of the season. Kirsten Bell hasn't really shown too much in her couple years here. Last season, she drafted Deasia Fear from Syracuse, who's no longer in the league. Drafted Kate Martin, of course, and then drafted Elizabeth Kitley from Virginia, who basically had to sit out the year due to the ACL injury. So we'll see if Liz Kitley comes back and if she's half the player that she was in college. James, salute, my friend. Hope all is well. Good to see you. JP says, wonder if Becky Hammon will survive the lawsuit. Yeah, that's another thing. Wonder if how bad this lawsuit gets and if Becky Hammon is able to survive it. It'll be interesting to see, honestly. But they're going as if Becky will be the coach for now, and they're on the lookout for another GM. So salute to Natalie Williams. She used to play for the previous team that was the Las Vegas Aces, which was the Utah Stars. So it was sort of like a full circle moment, I guess. She played for the team, the franchise, even though it was under a different name, and then got to be the GM of the franchise. So All the best to her. She can say that she was the GM while the Aces won 2 of their championships. Well, won 2 championships. So salute to her and her future endeavors. Not sure if she's going to go back into the GM ranks or try to chase something else in 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 life. It'll be interesting to see. We'll see where this lawsuit pans out. A lot can still happen over the next couple of weeks because it's cutting to that crunch time. All right, and recently, as of 2 days ago, coach, go ahead and log out. Christy Sides was fired by the Indiana Fever. Christy Sides, after 2 seasons with the team, she has left, or they've parted ways, quote unquote. Christy Sides was hired in 2023 by then GM Lynn Dunn. The report was that Lynn Dunn had to beg her to become the head coach. She really wasn't into head coaching. She had never been a head coach before. She had been an assistant coach at a number of different teams, Chicago, Atlanta, in college. So she wasn't really trying to take the head coaching job, but Lynn Dunn, I guess, gave her an offer she couldn't refuse. She ends up taking it and improves their record significantly. In 2022, the Fever won 5 games. In 2023, they moved to 13-27. They didn't make the playoffs, but they improved to 13-27. 2024, they did even better, 20-20, made it to the first round of the playoffs. They lost to the Connecticut Sun in that first round. Her total record as a head coach of the Fever was 33-47. I see JP says this one felt great as a Fever fan. I know a lot of Fever fans were happy that she was fired. They had a lot of complaints throughout the season about her decisions and rotations and things, but it only came because she took over a team that was not good, ended up getting a generational player, and then the lights just got so bright on her that it illuminated some of her weaknesses or things she has to work on as a head coach. And unfortunately, even though the team improved record-wise, in order for the Fever, I guess the Fever organization felt that in order to get where they wanted to go or where they want to go, they need a more seasoned coach to bring them to that promised land. So unfortunately, even though she had success, it wasn't going to be enough to keep the job. I know she left she let a tweet off, said leave it better than you found it. And no matter what you have to say about her, she ended up leaving it better, much better than how she found it. Came in with 5 wins, left with 20 wins a season. So salute to Christy Sides. We'll see where she ends up, if she ends up going back to assistant coaching with another franchise, or she wants to try her hand at another head coaching gig. But due to the success that she had with the Fever in improving their record, whether you want to give her the credit or Caitlin the credit, Aaliyah Boston the credit, whoever you want to give the credit, she was the head coach during that time. So that goes on her jacket as well. We'll see where she sort of ends up. So coach side, salute, but go ahead and log out. And this was the most recent one, unless something happened while I was on stream here. Coach Stephanie White. This one I'm gonna not put parted ways in quotes. I'm gonna say they parted ways. She was hired in 2023 by the Connecticut Sun. Inherited a really good team, a team that had just previously made it to the finals, I believe, in 2022. Her 2023 record was 27-13, lost in the semifinals to the New York Liberty. Came back the next season, 2024, improved by a game, 28-12, made it to the semifinals and lost to the Minnesota Lynx. Her total record as the coach of the Connecticut Sun was 55-25. Excuse me. So Christy Sides, from what I read, it was a combination of her wanting to be closer to her family, and honestly, deep down inside, I think she didn't want to be a part of a rebuilding team. The Connecticut Sun are going to be a very different team next year, possibly. Alyssa Thomas, DeWanna Bonner, Bree Jones, all unrestricted free agents. Dejanay Carrington's a restricted free agent. I think the only people they have locked down is Marina Mabry and Ty Harris. Everybody else is pretty much fair game. So the Connecticut Sun are going to go from a perennial playoff team to possibly on the outside looking in, depending on how these moves shake up. They don't really have any high draft picks either. So they're going to have to do some real retooling here in this offseason. I don't even know who wants to take that job, take a rebuild, and probably have to be a young coach trying to build their name, take that rebuilding job, take it from the ground up. But all the best to Stephanie. I know she was dealing with some family things. That's why she didn't. She waited a while to have the exit interviews and things of that nature. But it's all signs are pointing to Indiana. She's from, I think she lives close to Indianapolis. She coached the Indiana Fever before. She played at Purdue. Right? Her family's in the Indianapolis, Indiana area. So I think by her saying she wants to be closer to her family, that's sort of alluding to her probably, if anything, taking that Indiana Fever job, because there were rumors that they already had narrowed down their choices to her and someone else. So I wouldn't be surprised in the next couple days or next week if they say Stephanie White as the head coach of the Indiana Fever. But we'll see what happens. Stephanie White, solid coach. Let's see what she can do with a younger team. She took over a team full of veterans. I know people were looking at her college record at, I forgot what school Vanderbilt, and it wasn't that great. But we'll see how she can do with a generational talent, in Caitlin Clark. You have Aaliyah Boston there. Let's see what moves they decide to make in the expansion draft, in the draft lottery. We'll see how it all shakes out for the Indiana Fever coming in these next couple weeks. RC said, Jay, you went to your Liberty Parade? Yeah, I'll stop by a little bit. I missed the majority of it. I had work. RC says, I'm trying to really hard to stay on board with the Fever. I really am. It's more to a team than just CC. No, I get you. I totally understand that. But, you know, she brings the eyes. RC said they hired Steph already. Not yeah, they haven't hired her yet, but signs are pointing to them hiring her. So we'll see what they decide to do, or if that was just a smoke screen for something else. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. All right, so to sum it all up, I just took a screenshot of a tweet. So we have 9, well, technically we have 7 head coaching openings, 9 if you include the 2 expansion teams that are coming in the 2026 season, because you have to, let's say a coach is like, man, I really want to coach that Portland team, or I want to interview for that Toronto team, then that takes them out the running for this year. So that's why Megan Hall was like 9 openings. So you have the Sun, the Sky, the Fever, the Wings, the Dream, the Sparks, and the Mystics in the immediate. And then you have Toronto and Portland, who will start hiring sometime next season. And then general manager openings, you have 5, including them. You have the Aces, the Wings, and the Mystics in the immediate, and Toronto and Portland in the near future. JP, that's the $1 million question. Where are they going to come from, people? That is the $1 million question. You have 9 head coaching openings, 7 immediate, 7 that need to be done in the next 2-3 weeks, because the draft lottery is coming up and the expansion draft is coming up. So you would like to have your GM and head coach locked in and getting their opinions by the next 2 weeks. Because let me look at my calendar here. I put all this stuff in my calendar, because we're going to be doing a lot of streams for the draft lottery, the expansion draft. So I have to put this stuff in my calendar. So the draft lottery is on November 17th. So from today, that's 1, about 2.5 weeks until the draft lottery. And those teams all the teams that are in the draft lottery don't have a coach. So take from that what you will. All the teams in the draft lottery don't have a coach. So where are they gonna find these coaches in the next couple of weeks? I hope they've already been doing interviews and they're just narrowing it down between 1 to 2 people. But you better lock in early, because as the better candidates come off the board, you're gonna have to go to more outer areas, the NBA assistant coaching rankings. But they're dealing with their season just started, so is an assistant coach going to be interviewing while he's paying attention to his NBA team? College is about to start, so are you going to start interviewing college coaches while they're coaching their team in college? So it's going to be tough. It's really going to be interesting how they find these people, or does it end up just becoming musical chairs and people just end up in different places than they were last season. So it's something to keep an eye on, people. Something really to keep an eye on. Yeah, so I think that's it. I just wanted to touch on everything that has happened since we last spoke, give you a timeline of all of that. I also want to show you some of the key dates, if I can get that up really quickly. Key dates. They don't even have the what you call it up here. I wanted to show you guys the dates for the other things that are coming up. But just keep in mind, November 17th is the WNBA draft lottery. That's when we'll find out what team has the number 1, 2, 3, and 4 picks. We know number 5 will be the Golden State Valkyries. The expansion team tends to get that 5th overall pick. So we just need to find out who's going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4. The teams that are in it, tell you right now, the teams that are in it. You have LA, Dallas, Chicago, and Washington. And as I mentioned, all of those teams do not have a coach. So it's going to be interesting to see what happened. The next thing to focus on is December 6th. That's when the Golden State Valkyries expansion draft television broadcast will take place. We'll be doing streams for both of those, both November 17th and December 6th. So make sure you're subscribed and you're tapped in, so you know when I'm gonna do that. That's when we won't know the exact players that have been inputted or who've been allowed to be taken by the Golden State Valkyries. But after that broadcast, we'll know what players they have actually taken to fill up their roster. Remember, even though the player has been made available, it doesn't mean Golden State has to take a player from each team. They just have to be made available. So even though, for instance, the Liberty, let's say Marquisha Davis ends up being made available to the Golden State Valkyries in the expansion draft, they don't necessarily have to take somebody from the Liberty. So it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out. Tudo said, "Oh, Volpe hit something." I did hear my neighbor upstairs. He did scream, so I'm assuming something happened. Something happened well in that game. But it'll be interesting to see, people. I'm looking forward to all the rest of the moves that are coming. I'll try and update as much as possible. We'll probably try to do these off-season recaps probably at least once or twice a month. So today's the 29th. That's the end of the month. We'll probably do one when some people get hired. If people start to get hired pretty quickly, then we'll do another one pretty soon. So we'll see what happens there. All right, the Yankees are actually winning, so I guess I should go take a look at the game now. I should take a look at the game. Salute to all y'all who tuned in. It was a pretty impromptu stream. I was thinking about what to stream about because I was like, enough. I mean, it's been a week since the championship. Not really much to talk about. Everything that had to been said, discussion has been already said. But I wanted to I wanted to touch base with y'all. I haven't streamed in a bit, so I wanted to touch base with you guys and give you guys just an update on things happening in the W. and where we expect in the off season. So Tudo, JP, RC, James, all of y'all who tuned in, Damien, salute, Janelle. Appreciate you guys all tuning in. You know where to find me. I'll be in the Discord. I got the Discord down below. Hey mom, what's going on? Join the Discord. I'll be chatting there. As soon as news comes, I'm chatting in there. Tudo be in there. My cousin Belly be in there. You can follow me on Instagram as well. I post updates on there as well. So just tap into the Discord. It's free. Just have notifications off for a lot of the. I have a bunch of different channels for all the different teams, so you can turn off the notifications for the teams you don't want to know things about and leave the ones on for those who do. So I try to keep everybody as updated as possible. All right, y'all, I'm going to go touch this Yankee game. Hopefully they can hold on and not get swept in the World Series. Salute to all of y'all. It's your boy Jay Jordan, and I'm going to talk to y'all on the next one. Salute!